I know, buying a brand new build is a difficult decision to make. Back when we bought our new build, my wife and I were new to Ottawa and we didn't know much about its suburbs. And we always wondered, wouldn't it be great if someone had a step-by-step guide breaking down Ottawa's suburban new build market, along with its pricing and amenities, so we can make an informed decision when buying a house? And I never knew, 5 years later, I'll be a realtor and I'll be doing just that. And if you find yourself in a similar situation, then you're in the right place. Now, before we jump in, I'd like to get one thing out of the way, and that's pricing. Pricing for a new build house in Ottawa is always higher than the residential market, as they're highly sought after. Some projects are scheduled to be completed late 2024 or early 2025. I'll talk more on that in a bit. Now, for those who don't know much about Ottawa, it sits on the Ottawa River, which divides Quebec from Ontario. This is where you'll find Gatineau. Ottawa's suburbs can be divided into three parts: the east, the west, and the south. Now, starting from the east, you'll find Orleans. It's about 16 kilometers or a 20-minute drive from the Ottawa downtown region. It's a population of about 130,000 people with a good mix of schools and amenities. Orleans is a well-planned out city, with Queensway running in the northern portion and Innes running in the southern, connecting them to Ottawa. It also has a new LRT line scheduled for completion in early 2025, running alongside the Queensway. With ample amount of shopping, 3 recreation facilities, and a good healthy mix of businesses, some would say Orleans is one among the best suburbs to live in. Orleans has a great mix of residential places, from detached, townhouses, and condominium. And it also strikes a perfect balance between nature and city. And if you don't live in the Ottawa region, then you should know, Orleans is growing, and fast. With major builders such as Minto, Richcraft, EQ Homes, and many more actively building in the neighborhood, Orleans is set to grow along its southern region where there's room to grow. Now for prices. Prices for a new build in Orleans is similar to what you would find in Ottawa. A new build detached can start from $750,000 all the way up to $1.2 million. As for townhouses, you'll find them priced from $575,000 to almost $700,000 on the high end, which fits perfectly in between detached and condominiums. Speaking of which, condos are one among the more popular options when it comes to first-time buyers in Orleans. There's very limited supply when it comes to condos, and the supply which does exist are sold out quickly. As for prices, you should be expecting them around the $440,000 to $480,000 mark. There's also another segment quickly becoming popular among buyers, and it's called urban townhouses. They're usually in the $530,000 to $570,000 range. The downside to them is that you get 3 floors with no backyard, but the upside is that you get the same amount of square feet plus a garage. I would also like to quickly mention Rockland as an option, which is further east from Orleans. It's about a 30 to 40 minute drive from Ottawa downtown depending on traffic. It has all the amenities you would need, plus the added benefit of the prices being lower than Orleans. So if you work from home and don't mind a longer commute, then Rockland can be a great option. Now moving to the southern portion of Ottawa, it can be divided into 3 parts: Finley Creek, Riverside South, and Barrhaven. With usual major builders sprinkled with some premium builders such as Urbandale and HN, prices for the most part are similar to what you would find in Orleans. Now let's start from Finley Creek, otherwise known as Leitrim. It had a small presence on the west side of Bank, with limited but adequate amenities and schools. It has recently grown on all sides, with builders actively constructing in the area. You can find a detached new build starting from $850,000 all the way up until $1.2 million, depending on which builder you go with. Townhouses are in the $600,000 to $700,000 range. Something to note about Finley Creek is that it does not have a lot of condominiums in the area. There are a few upcoming projects scheduled to be completed by end of 2024, which will be priced around the $450,000 to $500,000 range. Now moving southwest to the airport, we find Riverside South. Riverside South has a lot of shops, schools, and amenities to serve its neighborhood. It also has a planned LRT line scheduled for completion sometime in 2024. Riverside South has always been one among the more desirable locations in Ottawa, which dictates a higher price. Prices tend to be around 5 to 10% higher than Orleans or Finley Creek, where detached houses start from $900,000 to $950,000 and can go north of $1.2 million. Townhouses start from $730,000 to $810,000 range. And similar to Finley Creek, there are limited options when it comes to condominiums. This brings us to Barrhaven. Even though a lot of people make fun of it and call it Farhaven, it's had an explosive growth in the past few years. The current population of 100,000 is mostly concentrated on the south and the southwest side of the city. Barrhaven has always had a good mix of housing compared to the other areas. Now prices. Prices in Barrhaven tend to be a little lower compared to the other areas, but they're slowly averaging out to the rest of Ottawa. Builders are offering detached starting from the high 700s all the way up to the $1.1 million mark. Townhouses are on the mid to high $600,000 mark. Now where Barhaven shines is the condo market. With options starting from the high $300,000 to mid $400,000 range, it makes it a no-brainer for first-time buyers. We've also seen people line up around the block for new builds in this category. Another great option to consider on the southwest side would be Richmond. Similar to Rockland, Richmond is about 30 to 40 minute drive away from Ottawa, just in case you're looking for a cheaper option on the south side. Let me know in the comments down below if you'd like me to make a video detailing all the small towns surrounding Ottawa. Now moving to the west side, we have Kanata and Stittsville. With a population of 145,000, the suburb has seen a steady growth in the past few years. This suburb is home to Sensplex, along with plenty of amenities, facilities, and schools. And just like Barhaven and Orleans, Kanata has an LRT line under construction as well. To give you an example, detached start from the high 800s all the way to 1.2 million, if not more, and townhouses start from the high 600s to the $700,000 range. Whereas condominiums are similarly priced to Orleans, you'll find them around the $400,000 to $500,000 range. And just like the other suburbs, we also have the option of Carlton Place, which is around 30 to 40 minute drive away from the Ottawa core, with the prices being much lower. Lastly, circling back to what I said in the beginning, these prices which I just went through are highly inflated in my opinion. You can potentially find a similar home in the market for around 7 to 10% cheaper, and the builders know that their prices are inflated at the moment and are offering a lot of incentives to make up the difference, such as 2 to 4 years of free condo fees, $10,000 to $15,000 worth of studio credits, and also 2 to 4 appliances, depending on which builder you're going with. I've personally negotiated these for a few of my clients. And if you are thinking about buying or selling in the Ottawa region, then reach out in the description down below to book an appointment with me. And if you don't know if it's the right time to buy or sell, then make sure to click these videos so you can make an informed decision. And don't forget to like and subscribe down below for more videos on Ottawa real estate.